Bye, everybody. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Kol tov. Bye. Yom tov.
Bye.
Thanks.
Check that everybody can hear you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Can everybody hear me? One time the big. Yes.
Price.
Everybody can hear me? Yeah, good.
Yeah,
okay. All right. So welcome again. I can't believe it's nearly Shabbos again, but at least whatever, if you prepare with me or get the recipes, you're ready for Shabbos.
We can't see you.
We can't see me. Michael, they can't see me. They can't see me.
Shout at me.
No.
Oh.
Hold on. My
I can see you. I can see you very well.
I can see you as well.
And I can see you. Can all those people who can see something just hold their hand up like that? So I can see
you.
Who can't see me?
Susan, you can't see anything?
Shoshi, go to the top. Go to the top of your iPad, and on the left-hand side, if you touch it, you'll see two round things. If you press the bottom one, it should give you a sight.
It's you need speaker view. Look at speaker view.
Only Shoshi who can't hear. See.
Well, we're not using an iPad. We're using a laptop.
No, not you, Shoshi.
Doctor as well. She muted.
No.
Mum, we can see you. It must
I
be
can
Shoshi.
see you. I can see you.
So can I.
Everybody can see. Okay.
I can see.
It's Shoshi.
Where is she?
I don't know where she's gone. Where's she gone? Shall I start?
Dalia, can you see us?
Yes, you can start.
Right.
All right, I'll start. Okay, so welcome everybody back to my kitchen and Erev Shabbos again. Hope everybody's keeping well and enjoying a bit more freedom. And I have to laugh because this morning when Michael met Paul Cutner in shul, he said, I hope Anita dresses up like Fanny Craddock. Now, for those Anglos, if you remember Fanny Craddock.
Sorry, Anita, can you tell Michael to mute everybody?
Somebody talking.
Tell Michael to mute everybody.
Michael, mute everybody.
Give me orders. Must be Elaine.
No, Helen.
Is that Elaine telling me what to do?
No, it's Helen. Everybody muted?
Right, two people have come in. Hold on. Mute all.
Okay. Everybody's muted. Oh, gewalt. Till this gets going. Huh.
David admit. Shoshi admit.
Mute. Come on.
Stop it, Anita.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry for all the delay. I tell you, it'll be your Yom Kippur by the time we get started. Anyway, so Paul Cutler was saying about Fanny Craddock here for all the Anglos who remember her. She used to be this middle-aged woman, much younger than me, all oisgepitzt in evening dress and whatever, with her husband Johnny, the Nuchschlepper, she was giving him orders what to do. He was the sous chef. But I'm not dressed up, like I haven't got an evening dress anyway. I left everything behind in England when we made Aliyah.
But she's got me to give orders to.
So, right, so today we're going to start with the no-fail baked basmati rice. And I have to thank my daughter-in-law, Dalia, that was Stemmer, who is now Dalia Leaf, for this recipe, because it's just brilliant. So, just get that down. First of all, the rice I always use for basmati is the tilde rice. I think that's the best rice. It's far beyond, don't bother with the Israeli one. This is the best one. And obviously you're going to rinse it beforehand. So we've got 2 cups of the basmati rice, which I've rinsed already because you want to get all the starch out. So, yeah, I want it on. So you've got your rinsed basmati rice, but before you put it in the dish, you put in 1/4 cup of vegetable oil into the dish, 4 tablespoons of the what's it called, the osem onion soup mix. Put that in. Then you put in 4 tablespoons of the soy sauce. I always use this one, the Kikkoman. It's the best one. Don't bother with anything else. This is the best one. And therefore you don't need salt because this is obviously very salty. So you do 4 tablespoons of that. And then you want to dissolve the soup mix. So you add 4 tablespoons of boiling water. Now I've boiled my kettle. And I do 4 tablespoons, 4 cups, sorry. 4 cups of water. And give it a little mish so that it makes sure it's all dissolved. You don't want any lumps of the soup mix there. So that's all dissolved, right? Then you pour in your 2 cups of washed and rinsed basmati rice. As I said, you don't need any salt because of the soy sauce. I always cover it. And then it goes into the oven for 45 minutes on about, it depends how hot your oven is. If you've got a fan oven, which probably most of you have, so use 150, 160, not too hot because you don't want it to dry out. And that goes in for a ready heated oven, which I'm going to do now, 45 minutes. Right. Now, just a little hint. That's because I'm making like the Japanesey, Chinesey flavored chicken meatballs to go with it. But if you're making chicken shawarma or any chicken curry or whatever curry or anything sort of more spicy, so to that mixture, you add a little pinch of a bit of turmeric, which turns the rice a nice color yellow. I always add a little bit of cumin as well, which gives it a spicy flavor. And then I also add a little bit of ground cardamom and a few bay leaves. So that's if you're doing like an Asian type or Middle Eastern type of dish. And that comes out beautiful, really lovely. Now, when it comes out, when you take it out of the oven, it might look a bit stuck together a bit. Just fork it through, fluff it up with a fork, and it's lovely. It never fails, it never sticks, it's always lovely. So that's the rice. So while that's cooking, I'm going to do the meatballs. Now, they are actually called sukune, but I thought, no, but I didn't know what sukune is. Gay Vase what sukune is. So I think it's Japanese. I called it Chinese, but I think it's actually Japanese. So we've got a couple of spring onions chopped, which is going in my Magimix or whatever you've got. I've got a couple of spoons of chopped carrot. I've got ginger, which is chopped. If you want to use fresh ginger, then use about that much ginger, and it depends how strong you like the flavor of ginger. I quite like using the frozen ginger that you get in the supermarket, in the freezer section. You get frozen garlic, frozen ginger, and that's really useful if you can't, you know, sometimes if you run out of ginger or you don't have ginger in stock, always good to have that in the freezer. It comes in little containers of ginger. So I put a few of those in, and a garlic, of course. And if you don't like garlic, leave it out, whatever, okay? So that goes in the Magimix. You're going to zhuzh that around. Yeah. There you go. And do it till it's quite a nice paste. So you might need to give it a little dray. There we are, with a spoon. Now, what I also add to minced meatballs, whichever meatballs you're making, whether it's beef, you can do this with beef. I know Elaine said she can't stand minced chicken. You can do it with turkey, you can do it with beef. I always add a raw potato, and that makes it fluffy, makes the mixture fluffy and keeps it nice and moist. So even if you're making a meatloaf, whatever you're doing, add a small grated raw potato into the mixture, and that makes it nice and fluffy and moist. So I'm just going to cut this up and add the grated potato as well. Yeah. Right. Always make sure you turn your Magimix off. I know somebody who sliced off her finger before turning off that, so I'm a bit paranoid about that. Right, out comes the minced chicken. I got the butcher to mince parguillotte for me because I find parguillotte, the thighs, the bone thighs, stay more moist than the breast. But if you don't like breast, if you don't like the dark bit of the meat, then use whatever meat you like. But this tends to stay the most moist. So here I'm going to put it into my bowl. Okay. That's that. To that, I add the mixture of the carrot, the spring onions, the ginger, the garlic, and the raw potato. Add that all in. Now look at it. Right. I also add, sorry, I forgot to tell you, there was also the grated rind of a lemon in there. If you can find lemongrass, which I couldn't find, that's brilliant. And you just take the woody bits on the outside away and chop and shove the lemongrass just a bit, and that gives a nice lemon flavor. But there's no lemongrass at the moment, so I used a grated lemon instead. Right. Then to bind it, you add a bit of breadcrumbs, which, as I told you last time, I make my own from leftover challah because that makes it fluffier. I don't know, somehow I don't like the bought breadcrumbs. Right, a bit of breadcrumbs, beaten egg, and then I put my gloves on and I give it a little mix up with my gloves because I don't like this. Right. Mix it all up till it's well mixed. You don't need to roll it in breadcrumbs or anything because you've added it to the mixture. Is somebody wanting to? I'll answer your questions in a minute. Is somebody questioning something? No? Okay. All right.
No, I just sent a message to Dina. I think she needs to mute herself because she keeps coming on screen.
Who?
Dina Fink.
Dina Fink.
She's muted now.
Okay. Okay, so that's all mixed up now with the egg, the breadcrumbs, and the mixture that you did in the Magimix. Then I have ready some of these little sesame seeds. I've got the mixture, black and white sesame. So I take my dish, and then you make your little meatballs. Just make little meatballs like that. Pop them onto a lined, make sure you use the lined baking paper because that stops it from sticking. Okay, so I'll show you that. I'm not going to do them all now, but I'll just do a couple just to show you. Take that off. And then just sprinkle it with the little sesame seeds. If you don't like sesame seeds, obviously not. But as you just sprinkle it over, if you can see. And then drizzle it with a little bit of maybe sesame oil if you like, or ordinary oil. And then stick it in the oven for, again, on the about 150. You can leave them covered to start and then uncovered at the end. Otherwise they might dry out and you don't want them burning. So cover them, leave them in for about, chicken doesn't take long. I'd say about half an hour on 150. And for the last 5 minutes or so, you can check with a skewer, make sure it's cooked inside, and then uncover it so the sesame gets nice and crispy. So that's the chicken done. I'll put this back in the fridge. Now, to go with that, hold on, let's get rid of this mess. To go with that, what is nice is to serve some stir-fried mushrooms with onion and garlic, of course, if you like it. So what I do, I'm going to stir-fry the onions first. Oh, where's my thing gone? Can you pass me the, yeah. Thank you. It doesn't need long because you want them to stay crispy. Right. So heat a little bit of oil. Again, you can use a bit of sesame oil if you like. Again, use the pure sesame oil, and that gives it a nice sort of Chinese-y, whatever flavor, just a bit, just to give it the flavor. And then you, on a high heat, if you've got a wok, even better. I don't have a wok. Put in the onions to start, and the garlic and ginger if you want, whatever you want. Right. And then you stir fry the onions very quickly on a high heat till they start to sizzle. The mushrooms I tend to use are the brown mushrooms. These are large, the portobello mushrooms, and they're nice and meaty. So if you're vegetarian, forget the meatballs and just do onions, stir fry with mushrooms and any other vegetables to go on top of the rice. So now the onions are starting to go to sizzle with the garlic, and then throw in the mushrooms and do that for a little bit. Right. Doesn't need that long because you want them still to hold their form and not get too mushy. And that's why I like the portobello mushrooms, because they're lovely and meaty. And that's a meal in itself sometimes. You just add a bit of broccoli or whatever, nice stir fry. So that's all that. Just for a bit. Then add a bit of your soy sauce. Again, you don't need salt, otherwise you'll all be on the high blood pressure tablet. Right, off it goes. Yum. And throw in a few bean sprouts as well. Okay, and that gives it a lovely crunch. But that's more to once you feel that the mushrooms and the onions are cooked enough. Throw in the bean sprouts, as many as you want. There you are. I'd say that's more or less done. You want it crunchy. You want it to have texture and crunch. And you've got the flavors, so that's done, that's fine. And I'll show you the finished dish, 1 second. And here's one I prepared earlier. Voila. I don't know if you can see it. Can everybody see it?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the rice. I added a few peas for color, which makes it like a rizzy pizzy. Okay. Then you've got your stir-fried mushrooms with the bean sprouts. And on lettuce leaves, you've got your little chicken zucchini, whatever they're called, shmookini, whatever they call it. Here we are. Okay, and with that, you have a nice little sweet chili dipping sauce. I don't know, can everybody see the whole, I don't want it to, can everybody see the whole finished thing? Yeah? Okay, I'll mute you in case there are any questions on that. No, Helen's got a question. Hold on.
No, I was just waiting. It's lovely. It all looks lovely. Well done. Beautiful.
Oh, good. Any other questions about that? No?
All looks delicious. Thank you.
Oh, right. Good. Right. Let's get this over to Johnny Lieberman quick. Right. Now we're going to do something with some leftover salmon.
Can you hear me? I have a question. How much soy sauce did you put in the chicken?
How much what?
Soy sauce. Danny, did you put soy sauce in with the chicken meatballs?
No.
Or not?
No.
No.
No, you can season it with, if you want to, you can. I don't like to put too much in because it's quite salty. But if you want to, you can, instead of salt and pepper, you can put in a cup. I wouldn't put too much in because you've got the soy sauce in the mushrooms. I see. But if you want, you can put, yeah, fine. Right, now I'm going to show you what to do with some leftover.
Anita, Anita,
yeah.
One sec. You can get, if you are worried about the soya sauce, there is a special soya sauce in supermarket.
I know, low sodium.
Absolutely. Which
by the way, this is Shoshi, my sister-in-law, everybody. Yeah. I know that, but I bought it and used it, and Michael went, yeah, he didn't like it. So that's
are you going according to what Michael likes?
You know, he's a fuss pot with everything. So even the low sodium soy sauce, doesn't taste of anything. Nish can tam. So what can I do? What can I do? Right.
Lovely, looks great.
Right, now, this is what we do with some boring leftover salmon, right? I do this with cooked fish, white fish, because my darling husband doesn't like salmon either. Yeah. So I've got cooked salmon fillets, right? So I'm sure you all overcook when you've got the kids coming or visitors or even just the two of you as we are at them, or one of you, whatever. So I flaked the salmon, and with that, normally I used to use ordinary cooked mashed potato, but being in this peculiar world we're living in, I didn't have any ordinary potato for some reason last week, and I only had sweet potato. And it was a revelation. It's beautiful with sweet potato, even nicer. It tastes much nicer. It's got more flavor. It's sweeter. And so you don't even need to boil the potato. You just peel them and roast them in the oven, the sweet potatoes, with a bit of oil, and they go soft very, very quickly. And then you just mash it with a fork. You don't need to patchki a room with boiling and North saucepans and everything. Put it, you know, Alice and Aim, it all goes together. Right, so you've got your flaked salmon, you've got your cooked sweet potato, and to that, I add, again, a beaten egg. Again, if you've run out of eggs, I mean, before, when it was Pesach, it was a mishagas, there were no eggs to be had. So you can use mayonnaise to put in, because that's made with eggs and oil. So as a last resort, if you happen to run out of eggs, use a bit of mayonnaise. So here I've got a beaten egg, again, grated lemon rind, which gives it a nice, with the fish, it goes very nicely. Some chopped up parsley and some chopped up dill. Now, whichever herbs you like, you might like, I don't know, the other one, kuzbera, which is the, what's kuzbera? I can't remember. Anyway, kuzbera, you might like that.
Coriander.
Coriander, yes. So, so you might like that. So whichever herbs you like, if you don't like the dill, you don't like the parsley, you prefer whatever, shove it in, okay? And again, bit of breadcrumbs to bind it. And some salt, some black pepper. Now, you just mix it up. Alles zusammen. You don't need to use your hands for this one because it's already cooked, and it doesn't matter if it's a bit not so well mixed. It's going to be a little fish cake. And the beauty of this is I never fry things, so this also goes in the oven. You don't need to patchki a room with your hands making fish cakes into shapes and doing it in the egg and then the breadcrumb. No, all you do is take my favorite, my little muffin tins. Right, give a spritz. Right, a spritz and a fish. Right, and then just, take another spoon. And you put it in the muffin tins. And it's wonderful because they hold their shape. Okay? You put them all in. There we are. And it's lovely for the grandchildren when they eventually come. They're like these, and you can have them hot or cold. In the sun now, we've got the schwitz starting already, the hits and the schwitz. So we start doing that, and you fill it up to the top. Put a few breadcrumbs on top of that. Then they get nice and crispy. And showing, that's it. That you leave open, you don't cover, put them in the oven, everything's cooked, the fish is cooked, the potatoes cooked. So it just needs to brown through, you know, and the egg has to cook through. And I would say, again, in about 150 degrees, I don't think they need more than a quarter of an hour. If you want it more brown on top, fine. So you just shove those in the oven. And again, I will show you the finished article. And here we have it. You've got your salmon and sweet potato fish cakes with little potato salad to go with it, and some nice asparagus. There's some lovely asparagus at the moment, and you serve it with a little deconstructed salad of tomatoes with a bit of balsamic and a cucumber salad, the strands of cucumber. Can everybody see that? Yeah? Okay. So there we have it. Chick chack, Shabbos is done. Any questions?
Did you put spring onions in the fish cakes?
You can put, yes, spring onions in the mixture, or you can do chives, whichever you prefer.
Yeah, thank you.
Chop it very small.
Yeah, thank you.
And you don't need to cook them. You don't need to cook the onions.
Right, okay. Right,
Morning, Anita. Anita, can you use the tin salmon?
Can I use what?
The tins of salmon. If you buy the like tuna, you buy a tin of salmon. Can you use that for the same recipe?
I can't hear you.
You know the tin salmon? Tins of salmon?
Tins of salmon.
Which salmon?
In a tin, darling.
Tin salmon. Oh,
Yes.
you can, but I think fresh salmon is much nicer, to be honest. And you can use any fresh white fish as well. Cook it first, and then make your fish cakes, and your grandkids will love it. You can shape them into fingers for the children, and they will love it.
Ryan, can you turn on your video?
Anita?
Ryan, video, we can't see you.
Anita?
Yeah?
I've just made it while you were talking because
Yeah.
I've prepared everything before. So all I've got to do is cook it now. I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay, good. Good. I hope it turns out okay.
So do
Lovely.
I.
Thank you very Thank you. Really lovely.
Not difficult.
No.
Not difficult. Easy peasy. And chick chack, it doesn't take a long time.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
lovely.
you.
Really lovely.
Thank you, Nini. Great.
Bye, Shoshi. Thanks.
Bye. Bye, all. Bye,
Thank
Sophie.
you.
Bye. Enjoy.
Thank
Shabbat
you.
shalom.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Shabbat
Bye,
shalom.
thank you. Thank you, it's fabulous. Shabbat shalom.
All the best. Bye.
Well done, Mum.
Amazing.
Very well done.
I know it's not.
I just stayed for the lot. Oh, I'll be there, isn't it?
What wait.
Anita, it was fabulous. We're just unmuted. Fabulous. Fabulous. When can we come round to eat it?
Well done, Michael.
Welcome. You're welcome to have it because this was one I did earlier. I've got the next lot now. My Matia doesn't eat this because he doesn't eat the salmon and he doesn't eat the chicken. So
I'll get rid of him, Anita.
That was great.
sorry.
Anita, it was really great. Angela and
Oh,
I.
hi Alfie, how are you doing?
Fine, very well. It was very nice. Now I'm hungry.
Good, nice to see you.
Well, and to you.
How's
See you.
Angela?
Well, she's fine. She just went out. She just watched it as well.
Oh,
You do. See
and
ya.
the rest of the mishpucha?
Everyone's fine, thank God. Yours?
Yes, Baruch Hashem, everybody fine.
Abby, I love your painting. Abby, I love your painting.
Thank you.
Bye,
Which
Mum.
painting?
Bye, Mama Line.
Bye, Dahlia.
Bye, darling.
Bye. It was amazing. Really good.
Oh, she asked how you were.
Okay. You left it.
No, not yet. Do you want to see it?
Okay.
Anita, is Michael going to wash up for you?
Linda, I used to like you.
Linda,
You
do want
enjoyed the
something?
salmon, Michael.
Linda, you're
Anita,
welcome.
it was fabulous.